and welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome back here to the channel, guys. And it is the match review between PSV and Barcelona going down tonight at the Philips Stadion, and it has finished Barcelona 2, PSV 1. But I have to tell you now, I've got no idea how. This game for me should have had, I would say, 5, 6, maybe even 7 goals combined. PSV with a ton of chances throughout the game and some real problems in that midfield and defensively again. But you've got to say, going forward, the goals that we scored, very impressive tonight. There was some good displays, and we are going to be balancing out the two sides, looking at the good and the bad, and discussing the game in its entirety. Coming right up. But if I first of all take you through Ernesto Valverde's starting lineup, which I think is fair to say we all pretty much agreed with, apart from maybe Coutinho on this left-hand side here, we think that maybe you could have played in midfield, you could have played Malcolm there from the very beginning, but overall this is a decent lineup on paper. You've got Ter Stegen, Clement Longley came in, I'm going to come on to Samuel Umtiti in just a minute, Jordi Alba at left-back, Piqué, Semedo, Sergio Busquets, Vidal, Rakitic, Messi in the false 9 area here, picking the ball up, and he was so influential right throughout the 90 minutes, and Ousmane Dembele down the right-hand side, who I think in the early stages had a good combination here with Nelson Semedo, and overall had a pretty good game. And Coutinho out on the wide left, who really didn't impose himself as much as he'd like to. Out on that left-hand side, he doesn't always see enough of the ball, and I think tonight with Messi in false 9, he didn't really have the chance to come in too centrally. But overall, a strong lineup, and I was expecting a much more dominant performance. And just before we do move on, I want to come on to Samuel Umtiti, who did not play in today's game and was also not named on the bench for this game. And the reason for that is Barcelona revealed and confirmed today that in yesterday's training session, just before the game, because he did travel to Holland, he felt some discomfort and some pain in his knee area, which is very worrying, simply because that may or may not be a reoccurrence of his previous injury. We know that he's only just returned. He played 90 minutes away against Atletico Madrid, which in itself is a really difficult game. You look at the injuries we got after that game, so I'm just really hoping, crossing all my fingers, that it's not a reoccurrence and that he won't need surgery further down the line. But we're going to have to wait and see how Umtiti recovers and whether or not there's anything serious to it. But on the game, guys, it was very clear from the moment go, and you've got to give huge credit. PSV pressed the life out of this Barcelona team, and the difference today was we simply didn't have it in us to resist that press. We simply did not have the control, we didn't have the nerve, we didn't have the desire perhaps in that midfield to actually get past that press. And PSV, every single time they were winning that ball, they were pressing us to oblivion. They were forcing mistakes from Ter Stegen to the 2 centre-backs, the 2 full-backs, and the midfield. Honestly, today, I don't think I've ever seen a Barcelona midfield give the ball away as many times as we did today. Whether it was Busquets, whether it was Rakitic, it was a lot of times there. Again, you've got to question, was he 100% fit? Did Valverde need to start him in this kind of game? Valverde just doesn't ever want to put Rakitic on the bench, no matter what. And then you've got Arturo Vidal, who didn't really seem suited to come and get the ball and sort of play out of those kind of situations. We desperately missed today the control of Arthur, and not only the control, the fact that he'll come and get the ball, he'll come and receive it, he'll try and get you out of situations where you are in big trouble. Tonight, we didn't have that. We gave the ball away over 120 times today. We gave the ball away, which was more than PSV did, but it wasn't only that. It was our defensive side again. We were just cut open. We were cut open time and time again. I think the second half for us was a lot better than the first half. The first half really was a car crash of a performance defensively. PSV could have had 3 or 4 goals, and that is genuinely no exaggeration. They hit the woodwork 3 times altogether in that opening period in the first half. And right throughout the game, they did have chances. And not only chances from range or chances that weren't really goal-scoring opportunities, they had good, clear-cut chances. And whether it was Ter Stegen or whether it was luck, somehow we seemed to avoid conceding right up until the final few minutes when Luuk de Jong got PSV what was a very deserved goal. They had 21 shots on the night, the same amount that we did, but they did have more on target, and they forced Ter Stegen into 9 saves throughout the 90 minutes. And again, the defensive structure of our team, it is an issue. It is a genuine issue that is there for everybody to see, and we just don't seem to be addressing it. And especially away in the Champions League, if we go away to a team with better attacking quality, better finishers than PSV had tonight, we will be in real trouble. But of of course, we did score 2 goals, and it's not all negative. This is not a disastrous display by any means. I think going forward, we were quite good in some areas. We never had control of the game, so we was never able to really sustain our attacks. But I think Messi himself today was absolutely brilliant. He took his time to get into the game. I think false 9, obviously, he's not used to playing in that every single week, but once he got into the flow of it, he was unstoppable in the final third today. He'd pick the ball up, he'd be driving into space, really exploiting the spaces that PSV left. And I think towards the end of the half, he had some sighters, he had some shots on target, he was just getting himself warmed up and fully into the game. And then at the start of the second half, 60 minutes into the game, he got the first goal, and the really crucial goal for us, which at the time seemed to be coming against the run of play, but it was a wonderful goal from Lionel Messi. And the best thing about his goals, he starts them and he finishes them. It's not only about the finishing touch, it's not a poacher's finish. He gets the ball in midfield, he's driving at PSV, and then bang, he's going between the lines, he's picking the ball up himself, he's driving in there, lays it off to Dembele, and then Dembele does really well, because he doesn't just force the pass, he doesn't just run, he doesn't just shoot, he actually waits for Messi. It's a nice little combination here, and just as the challenge comes in, Dembele plays the ball into Messi, and Messi does the rest. And I'm sure all of you guys have actually heard the commentary for Lionel Messi's goal against Athletic Club in the early days with Ray Hudson, where he says 3 players inside a telephone box, basically meaning the players are swarming around Lionel Messi in such a close, confined space. And that was exactly what happened there in the first goal. Messi takes it into the box, he's got several PSV players around him, but somehow he unleashes a shot, and it's not just a normal shot, this is an absolute cannon. There's no backlift on it, he smashes it towards goal, it's at the near post, the keeper actually is quite close to the ball, but there's nothing he can do. It's so unexpected, it's so powerful, and from Lionel Messi, so brilliant. And the second goal came less than 10 minutes after that Messi goal, and of course, the big man was involved in it once again, and it was a big man that scored, and the little man that was involved in the creativity of it. It was a free kick there on the edge of the box, and if you watch this on the replay, it looks so simple, it looks perfectly choreographed, they work it so well. It's Messi from the free kick. Originally, it looks like he's actually underhit it, but it's not a cross, this is a pass into the path of Gerard Piqué, who reads the situation perfectly. For some reason, PSV aren't really marking him tightly, which I don't know why you wouldn't do that for 6'4" Gerard Piqué in the penalty area, but it comes into Piqué, and you know exactly what Gerard Piqué's like in the box as a sort of centre forward player. He is actually very handy indeed. He just steers it on target, the goalkeeper can't get across, again it's quite unexpected, and Gerard Piqué is there to score and make it 2-0, and at that point it was actually pretty comfortable. We didn't deserve that 2-0 lead, but you kind of felt like then on we'd control the game, we'd do things well. Coutinho came off, Malcolm came on, and there was a brief 10-minute spell, and it was only 10 minutes, that's all that Valverde allowed of it, but it was Malcolm, Messi and Ousmane Dembele as that front three like we all wanted to see, and especially on the counter-attack, PSV needed a goal, remember, and that front three was so electric, and as soon as Malcolm came on, they all combined. It was Messi, again, driving into that space. There was so much determination from Messi tonight in the way that he played. He plays it out to Dembele, and Dembele does really well. He actually puts a cross into the back post. Malcolm is steaming onto it, and he's so close to getting what would have been at that point a 3-goal lead, and it was a really nice combination, but like I say, we only got to enjoy that for just 10 minutes, because then Dembele came off, Denis Suarez came on, and we didn't really do an awful lot more in those final stages, and once Luke de Jong scored, we very easily could have conceded again, and perhaps not even won this game. But overall, guys, we are top of the group, finishing ahead of Tottenham and Inter, and PSV do finish bottom of the pile there, and of course we do have Tottenham now coming up at the counter. It's going to be very interesting to see whether Valverde is going to experiment for that game, or if we're going to sort of play an established team. But I just want to bring you a new feature which I'm going to start following games. I asked on my community section, rate tonight's performance out of 10 for you guys, basically just to see how you're feeling, how you felt we performed tonight, and the majority right now, there's not an awful lot of votes of course because it's not been up for very long, but 7 to 8 is the vote from you guys. Nearly half of you going with that option, a lot of you as well going for 5 to 6, virtually nobody there with a 9 to 10, and there are a few as well, 0 to 4, but I think overall tonight it was pretty average. We got the job done away from home in the Champions League. We need a lot of work, we need to be more convincing, we need to be better defensively. I think when you add Arthur back into that midfield, it brings a lot more control, a lot more stability, particularly against those opponents that want to really press us like PSV did tonight. But I think going forward, Messi in a central area as a forward is so effective, and you know that in any game at any given time, that man has the ability to turn the game in your favour, and he did exactly that tonight. Dembele, I think, played well, a few nice moments, a few moments that needed work as well, but overall it's more positive for him, and he had 80 minutes of game time tonight. Coutinho returning from injury, didn't expect an awful lot there out on that left hand side, didn't really get into the game as much as maybe he would have liked to. I think we need to see him in field. Try him in midfield, get that bit of creativity, especially when Arthur's back. Try the two together and just see how it goes. But overall tonight, guys, a 2-1 win against PSV. And now we move on to the weekend. It's Villarreal at home. We need to follow it up with another win. So leave your thoughts on tonight's performance in the comments down below, guys. Who stood out for you? Who wasn't so good? What was really wrong in that midfield tonight with the way we've given the ball away? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, following this video, in the coming days, there will be more analysis and more videos coming up. I'll see you then. But until then, as always, Vesca El Barça.